Yo, what's going on, guys? It's Houston Sports Talk picking the video today, and today we're going to be talking about 10 Houston Texans, 10 new Houston Texans that the Texans added in from undrafted free agents. You know, this is a thing that happens every year, of course. You know, there are guys that don't get drafted, and every team at least gets at least 6 to even more. The Texans got 10 players. I mean, there are some teams that got more than 10 players in this undrafted out of undrafted free agents. You know, it's just for, in my opinion, it's just for more competition and training camp and that stuff. None of these guys really do make the roster. Out of these, there's 10 guys that signed. 10 guys I'm just talking about the Texans. There's 10 guys that signed. There's 10 guys that signed a undrafted free agent deal with the Houston Texans, and I would probably bet that there's only about 2 or 3 guys that make the actual 53-man roster, and if not, 1 or 2. And we're going to be going over some of the players, all 10 of the players that Houston Texans did sign in undrafted free agency. And I'm just gonna add that I have no idea of anything of these players. I've heard a couple things about one of them or 2 of them. I'm just going to be talking about who they signed and who I think, without watching their film or their highlights, just knowing their position, and could potentially have a chance to potentially have a chance to make the roster. One of the first free agent signings the Houston Texans made was Xavier Valade, running back from Arizona State. I did hear some good things about him. I don't know if he makes the roster, but I mean, decent thing right there, I guess. But he was one of the first ones I did hear about. Then 2 offensive tackles, Killian Zaire, offensive tackle from Auburn, and then Tyler Beach, offensive tackle from Wisconsin. Then Ali Gaye, edge from USC, and then also Brady Weiss, long snapper from Nebraska. Darius Joyner, the defensive back from Duke. I think he is a corner. I did get a comment about that because in one of my Texans draft videos, I said I was upset that we didn't draft the corner, and someone commented that we signed someone named Darius Joyner, a cornerback. So, I mean, with some cornerback competition, I mean, if he plays well, he could potentially make the roster, I guess. Dylan Detheridge, center from Western Michigan, probably does not have a shot at all to make this roster, with guys like Juice Scruggs and Jared Patterson being drafted, and still having guys like Scott Quisenberry and signing Michael Dieter. So in that case, I don't think there's a chance for him, but at least he's on the NFL team for right now. Then 2 wide receivers, Jared Wayne from Pittsburgh and Jesse Matthews, wide receiver from San Diego State. Then a punter from Memphis, Joey Doyle. And then that was it. So one guy that immediately sticks out to me is Brady Weiss, a long snapper from Nebraska. Texans I'm pretty sure only long snapper on their roster right now is John Weiss. He's almost at the end of his career. So if Brady Weiss does well in spring training and in training camp, maybe he could be the next starting Houston Texans long snapper. Potentially just pointing that out for the Texans. And then, anybody else, not really. I mean, like I said, Darius Joyner, if he plays well, maybe he could have a shot. The punter, Joe Doyle, that stands out to me. I think Cam Johnson's still the option at punter, but Cam Johnson's getting up in age, and if Joey Doyle does well, maybe there's a little bit of a competition. The offensive tackles, I don't think they really got a chance. I think Xavier Valade, I think if he does well, I think there's a shot for him. The wide receivers, I say no chance in hell, but they will have a chance to play a little bit, I guess. But you already got 6 wide receivers that on the roster that will definitely probably make the roster, with Collins, Mechie, Woods, Brown, Hutchinson, and Tank Dell. And then you have other wide receivers who will be fighting to try to make the roster, with Amari Rodgers, Steven Sims Jr., Johnny Johnson, and also who's the other guy? Jalen Camp. So you got 10 guys. Jalen Camp and Johnny Johnson will be guys who probably go to play well. I guarantee you, Johnny Johnson and Jalen Camp will play well in preseason like they did last year, and then they will end up making the Houston Texans practice squad. And then Steven Sims will make the roster as of special teams for kick returning, and then Amari Rodgers could make the team as well. And then all those 6 guys that I mentioned are staying for the Houston Texans. That's what I would say most likely happened for the Texans with wide receivers that are the 10 wide receivers that are already on the roster. So Jesse Matthews, Jared Wayne, they're going to have to play their best football they've ever played in their life to probably make the roster, if not even better. But they got some hard competition. But, these guys, they were not drafted. These are guys, trying to get a chance on. And, like I said, I don't know much about these guys, but the Brady Weiss, that stands out because the Texans might need a new long snapper after this season. And so, yeah, I like it for the Texans. I like some of these guys. I'm going to watch some film after this and see what I see from some of these guys. And, you guys have your thoughts on the undrafted free agent signings for the Houston Texans. That's the video. If you guys enjoyed, and peace out. Go Texans.